Ashley's
You might want to
ovulation
put a
schedule.
Right
if you
before
ever
you
just
might
want to shut Matt the fuck up, just talk about periods and ovulating
You would be surprised.
and placenta smoothies.
You would be surprised.
You could make a smoothie out of my
Listen.
periods because I have really bad blood clots, and it comes out and it looks just like a clump of jelly.
It's Monday. It's another time for the Extraordinary Files
Sorry.
podcast episode. Every time I start, you always just get this shit giggles. As soon as I start, it's Giggle Fest.
You like do a dance when you start talking. You're
I gotta
like,
get-
all right.
I gotta
it's
feel my
Monday."
groove. I gotta get into it. I gotta do a little something, you know? I mean, you gotta.
He feels the tingles at a special
That's right.
place.
I want the listeners to feel it with me. Get all into it and get a little something.
Well, some.
They feel it. They know
He's got
it.
that itch. He's got it.
No, not what you're thinking.
Oh, shit.
It's another week. It's another episode. We got Ashley. We got Hannah. And Ted, the man behind the curtain, pumping you out another episode. This week, see, the smallest things can get them to just giggle fest.
You call me 82. Mm-mm.
You are 82.
She's
Nah.
taking all the pervertedness up in this one.
Because I said pumping out.
You told me.
Let me say Hershey squirts. Pumping. Let me say
Hershey cream pie.
Hershey cream pie.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Oh, I don't want nothing to do with that. I know what a Hershey squirt is, so I don't want nothing to do with your Hershey cream pie. Ashley just smelled her finger and then she started to act like she was going to throw up. Does your finger smell like Hershey cream pie?
No, it was that
Hershey's,
thing you said that made me do that.
Which
Hershey
one?
Squirt.
Just shh.
the Hershey cream pie?
Shh.
Hershey squirt.
What have we got today, Matt?
The cream pie. The Hershey cream pie is one thing, but a Hershey cream pie, that's
Hershey cream
a
pie.
whole nother fetish. You need to contact your people in FetLife about that one, the Hershey cream pie.
I'm sure there's people on there that do that.
Obviously, you know.
Have you seen the video that was circulating on Facebook?
No.
Where the girl shits and the guy's face, like he has his mouth open and he like shits like diarrhea, just shit right into his face. It's fucking foul. Like it's worse than Two Girls in a Cup almost.
I thought that was you. I thought you sent that to me because that was you.
No,
Why
That's not you?
No,
Oh.
sorry to disappoint, but that was not me. That was somebody else.
And everybody just lost their lunch. Holy shit.
Lunch, dinner, whenever you're listening to us here, we're pretty ranch.
How was your weekend, Matt?
The look he's giving.
I don't even know what the fucking how to follow that shit up. I'm just it's like done. We're done. And that was our episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm cashing out and going home with this one. I'm gonna take my Hershey pie and fucking blast off. I'm out of here. God damn. They don't contribute to some episodes, and then you tell them, say, hey, why don't you like try to pick it up a little bit? And this is the shit you get. I guess be
Shit.
careful what you ask for.
How was your weekend, Matt?
It was
I'm going to keep asking until we change the subject.
it was queeftastic.
Queef
You learned a new word.
Oh, yay! Claps for Matt.
It's okay. It's it's December. It's getting fucking cold.
Did you do anything?
Here in Ohio, we go from like 90-degree winter or 90-degree summer or fall, I guess, to titty ass cold out.
How cold
than-
are titties?
It's colder than a well digger's ass. You know how cold that is?
How cold is that?
Pretty fucking cold.
Pretty fucking cold.
There you
right?
go. Now you know.
Okay.
How is it? That's how cold it is.
Yeah, okay.
I don't mind cold. I don't mind snow. I want it for Christmas, and then they can bugger off. It's done.
You said bugger.
Bugger off.
Bugger.
Don't you like Christmas? Don't you like snow for Christmas?
For Christmas, yeah. I get tired of
supposed
it
to have a
after a
blizzard.
while.
I say bring it. Yeah, I'm sure there's people around the world right now. He's like, what are they talking about? We already got like 6 feet of snow.
Our Swedish listeners are
Yeah.
going, what the hell are they complaining about?
Yeah.
We have
Right.
15 feet,
We got a-
motherfuckers.
They got a dusting and they're bitching about it. I just sent 6-year-old Timmy out there to clear out the path between the horse and the barn that's 15 feet deep and a mile away.
I had to fucking climb through the chimney to get out.
But 6-year-old
Couldn't
Timmy,
get out the door.
6-year-old Timmy, he can do it, and he better do it quick too. I'll put some porridge on. All right, so this one, what you got coming is the Blood Countess. Her name is Elizabeth Bathory.
Bathory.
No, that's not what we agreed upon.
That's not what we agreed upon.
No.
You sure?
Bathory.
Matt spent like 15 minutes before we started this episode listening to people say her name.
Boy, we just got
And
the
he
little
still
giggles
got
going
her.
on.
I'm sorry. Giggles are better than nothing.
This is true.
I mean, yeah.
So how is it then, Ashley?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Bathory.
Bathory?
Bathory.
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 I knew. I was just trying to like make it funny.
Oh, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
You
Then
little
how come
shit
I'm the one
cake.
that said it? Because we talked about it's Bathory, so not Roy, Bathroy,
Mm-hmm.
Bathory.
Bathory.
Bathory, that's what I said.
Bathory.
Anyhow, it's Elizabeth Bathory.
Bathory.
She's the Blood Countess. She's known as probably the first female serial killer.
There it is.
Sounds like my kind of
Level
girl.
playing
Dun,
field.
dun, dun.
Oh,
Dun,
God.
dun, dun.
This took place, she was born in the 1560s, August 7th, matter of fact.
Wow.
1560.
Damn.
Hey, that's only 3 days before me. In some.
No, see, I knew
100
you were
years.
old. I knew it.
Damn, Ashley.
I just didn't think you were that old, but this picture does kind of like look like you and how you dress.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We share a sense of passion.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about Elizabeth, and see. We'll see if we can make this history lesson.
Can you say her name again?
Elizabeth?
Last name.
Huh?
Last name.
Bathory. It's Elizabeth Bathory. Jesus.
I can't.
All right, so anyhow,
Just
let's see if
go.
we can turn this history lesson into something interesting and fun. Athlete says, athlete's foot over there. Matter of fact, I came up with a new nickname for you, Ashley.
Oh, God.
Yep. Mama Sharts.
Sharks.
Mama Sharts is Ashley's new nickname. Mama Sharts.
Oh.
You wanted a
I
nickname.
just-
How come Matt never has a nickname for me? All right, Mama
Yeah.
Sharts.
Be careful what you wish for.
From now
Ash.
on, Ashley is known as Mama Sharts.
Mama Shark.
She told me, she goes, Matt, I don't really have much faith and hope in this episode. I think it's going to go down like a flaming plane in the Pacific Ocean and disappear forever. I'm like,
That's
what?
exactly what I said.
I know.
Verbatim.
So we're going to see what we can do about that.
Thank you, Hera.
You're welcome.
Verbatim.
Clarification. Always there.
Always there. I got you.
All right. So Elizabeth was born in 1560 to one of the most powerful Protestant families in Hungary. All right. So we're talking about the Hungarian area. At that time, she was the daughter of Baron George Bathory. See how that? And Baroness Anna Bathory.
It sounds like you're saying Bathory still.
Bath or Roy.
But when you say it, it just
Still wrong.
So anyhow, but here's something to look at already. Her mom and dad's name
Mm-hmm.
are the same last name before they were married.
Well, that was common back
Yes.
then.
So both of their parents' name were
That explains it.
Bathory's
That's
by
why she
birth.
was-
Incest.
That's right.
That's why she screwed up.
Possibly stemming from inbreeding within her family. It is said that from an early age, Elizabeth suffered from seizures, loss of control, and fits of rage.
Hannah,
What?
We're talking about you here, not Elizabeth.
can you prove some documentation your parents did not share a last name prior to marriage?
Dun, dun,
Yes, I'm sure my parents can do that. We are not incest, okay?
As a child, Elizabeth witnessed brutal punishments that were handed out by her family's officers on their estate. Since they were baron and baronesses, obviously, they had their large estate. One of them describes that a gypsy was accused of theft. Her punishment, when you thieve from their lands, the punishment was to be sewn up in the belly of a dying horse and left there to die. That, ladies and gentlemen, is effective punishment.
Yeah.
Who's going to
Pretty
steal
effective.
after that? Yeah, think about that. We wouldn't have no theft. We would have no theft if we had.
Maybe she was just really smart.
I don't know.
Probably.
But
You're
her
right,
family,
if we
her
did
family
that.
tree certainly included some disturbed kin as well. For instance, one of her uncles taught her Satanism.
That's
And then-
not extremely uncommon.
Well,
Hannah's.
I love how everybody looked at me as soon as he said Satanism. And I was like, Satanism? And looks right at me like,
I always look at you.
it's because I'm beautiful. I know.
She
I think you're
also
beautiful, Hannah.
Thank you, Ashley.
she
So
also
are you.
learned about sadomasochism from her aunt.
Oh, her aunt taught her this.
Yes.
It's a close knit family.
Yeah. Now it's starting to look
Literally.
a little. Now it's starting to look a little odd, just a little bit, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Auntie, what are you
Auntie
doing?
Em, Auntie
Yeah,
Em.
what are you doing? Here, let me show you how this works. So Elizabeth was married by the time that she was 15 years old, which that
That's
wasn't
common.
Yeah, that wasn't uncommon.
That's actually not that early back then.
Yeah.
She had, within 10 years, she had given birth to 3 daughters and 1 son. So within
Mm.
10 years, 4 children.
No thanks. Well, 10 years isn't that bad.
No, but she probably had servants that took care of the kids. So you're
Yeah.
thinking of it because of diapers and screaming kids and
Yeah.
feeding. She probably had them and didn't have nothing to do with them, or had to mess with them that much.
Right. And they were probably her uncle's kids.
Probably.
I don't know.
Your uncle is your daddy type shit.
Okay, Hannah. Thank
So-
you again.
I'm always here for the clarifications, guys.
Yeah. Legend has it that one day, this kind of starts. So we have a little bit of back history on Elizabeth. Now we're going to start talking about some of the legend. One day, that the attendant girl that was brushing Elizabeth's hair accidentally pulled too hard on her hair as she was
Oh,
brushing
shite.
it, and it snagged. And so it hurt.
How dare she?
Yep. That bitch just tugged my hair. So the Countess erupted in anger, jumped up, and struck the girl with the back of her hand. The strike was so hard that it made the girl bleed from the nose and mouth, and the blood
With
that
the,
was
hey, with the back of her hand?
yeah,
She made her nose bleed?
yeah.
Shit. This. Yeah, I guess.
Obviously,
but-
Tim's not keeping his pimp hand fresh. If he was, you'd know about it. Got to keep that pimp hand fresh.
Oh my god.
So anyhow, she was pissed. She pulled her hair. She, with the back of her hand, smacked her across the nose and the mouth and
Totally
made it bleed.
logical.
Right. So, Elizabeth later that night noticed that the skin where the blood had been looked on her hand
Mhm.
looked more youthful.
So we're going back to our vampire episode.
Yeah, kind of into that.
Mm.
They say in history some of the stories
Mm-hmm.
from Elizabeth has
Mhm.
made their way into vampire culture.
That makes sense.
Definitely.
So when she noticed that on her hand there was some, it looked more youthful where that blood was.
That's extra moisturizing. Duh.
hmm This gave her an idea that if such a small amount of blood could make her hand look so young, then more could restore her youthfulness to her whole body. This then led her madness to begin as Elizabeth started to bathe in the blood of virgin girls.
So specifically virgin girl. This is, yeah,
Yeah, right?
vampire all over it.
Exactly.
Just not consuming it.
Well, because no, you would, as vampires, you consume
Right.
the blood,
Mm-hmm.
virgins on some aspect of things, but then that would
Mhm.
keep your youthfulness and all that. So absolutely.
But gross.
Well, it's
Hannah, would you do it?
Bathe in blood.
Yeah. I mean, I have to ask. I never
She-
know. I
you
never
know
know what
she-
you're gonna say.
I mean, why not? She's bathed in semen.
Ooh.
Holy shit, that would take a long
That's a lot
time.
of jizz.
Well, she is on FetLife, so
That's a lot of
FetLife. All right, so
She didn't answer. Let's
No,
be
no, she
clear. She,
didn't.
did not
I
answer my
stopped.
question.
I mean, I did go to that.
yeah, but would you bathe in a
Bathtub.
bathtub full of blood?
Sure.
Carrions. Oh,
There you go.
my God.
You've heard it here first.
Just won't drink it.
Okay. So once she found out that that's what she was going to start doing, young women begin to disappear from the villages near and far, as well as children. Unhappy girls were lured into the castle with the prospect that they could find work. But then when they went to the castle to find work, they were never seen from again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Documentation has it that when they
I can't go that
arrived,
low.
they were locked up in the cellar as they awaited torture. Elizabeth, like,
would-
good.
I don't know.
What?
How much blood do children have compared to adults? Is it the same amount? I think it's not the same amount. Is
I
it?
wouldn't say it's the same amount, depending on the age.
You would
of
think
the child,
she
but
would be preying on people.
With more blood. But she wants some,
Yeah,
she probably
wants
thinks
it
like
useful.
children are,
So just kill more
youthful.
people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all. All right, cool.
It's fine. Whatever.
But she remember, she's into sadomasochism.
Right,
She's
right,
into Satanism. She's,
Yeah.
she's liking torture. I mean, after all, as a kid, she's seen someone sewn up in the
Mhm.
inside the belly of a horse and left to rot and die inside the horse.
God, could you imagine like that being your death? That's fucking horrible.
That's coming from Hannah.
Like, right. That's, just damn.
Just rotting away inside
I
of
mean,
a
the good
dying
news
horse.
is you wouldn't last long.
I don't know.
I mean, you couldn't breathe. There'd be nothing.
So
You'd suffocate pretty
essentially,
quick.
okay, I was gonna say,
Well,
so
that's if
essentially
they
you
sewed it up completely airtight.
What are they gonna do? Like,
You can have
We-
a. You
I
can
have
have
this. I have this image of like the suture wound open with just the nose sticking out.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Is it fucked up that that's funny?
Oh,
Ted is over there dying.
I mean, that's the only thing. If you said sewn up in, so I assume seal it.
Well,
They stop breathing.
I guess.
Cause
I don't know how
the-
much air is left inside of a.
How? Yeah.
But then, okay, even at that, well, I don't know. As the horse starts to rot, I don't know. It's not a good. But would you try to get out? I mean, I'm sure you would be in there kicking and screaming and everything else, and you might pull some sutures open to get some air in there, right?
I'm gonna vomit.
But I'll see.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Holy shit!
Oh, well, we're not even
Like,
got
I'm
there.
screaming, trying to.
I'm
she's
trying-
getting out of a horse.
Like I'm picturing like what my children looked like when I was pregnant, and like you can see their arms moving around, and you're like,
So that would be like
that'd be like what you were doing.
Have you seen
inside
Have you
trying
seen
to
Ace
get out.
Ventura? When nature calls, you're
when
gonna
he
be like
gets
that
out of the rhino.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna be like the rhino where he's trying to come out the rhino's ass. There's your little hole back there, and you're gonna try to like pop your head through. And
You just gotta make sure you're facing the right way when they put you in, and then you can just like birth yourself.
Would it work that?
no, because I don't know if they actually sewed them into the stomach. I'm sure.
you said that.
Well, the abdominal area.
Okay.
I don't know if they actually cut open the stomach because
I feel like that would kill them, right?
Yeah,
The animal, it would.
Well, the animal was already dying. Who knows?
I mean, the
Some crazy fucking weird shit's going on back in the 1500s.
We are fixated on specifically this.
But I mean, a person couldn't fit inside of a horse's stomach, though, right? I mean, like that wouldn't be.
I've seen
it
some
would-
We
pretty
have a
big-ass
fetal
horses.
position for a reason.
Yeah.
And then your babies come out and you're like, how the fuck did they fit in there?
Yeah, I think.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think a person could fit inside of a stomach. Easy. I mean, as far as an animal stomach.
Not
A horse's
okay.
stomach.
Stop. Let's go.
But Elizabeth liked the torture so much that she usually carried out most of the torturing in the people herself, and often beating the girls to death. Some of the other things that she would do, she would sew a girl's mouth shut and leave her to die. Just sew it up. You ain't eating nothing else. Just sew your mouth up. When Hannah talks, sometimes I want to sew her mouth up.
Ditto. The feeling's mutual, man.
Sometimes they were forced to eat their own flesh. And then she would even get her rocks off sometimes and just say, fuck it, and burn their genitals. Genitals.
Wow.
Light your genitals on fire.
I was laughing because you said generals, not the genitals thing. That hurts me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Think about that. Just light their fire. Light their genitals on fire.
Fuck you. Nope. Mm-mm.
Think about let that all that. So everybody's listening right now, just kind of like, oh man,
My vagina hurts now.
Your vagina's on the inside.
Whatever.
Doesn't it always hurt?
No.
Sometimes when she was too sick to get out of bed to beat them, Elizabeth would order that her servants would bring the girls to their quarters, and then she would bite their faces and shoulders. Maybe to get some blood, or I don't know if she was into, I mean, I know they talked about her being into like some cannibalism aspect of she'd make them eat their own flesh. But yeah, she'd just come up here. Can you imagine? They're bringing this girl up in there. She's hollering and screaming. The servants are holding her, and she just comes up and like bites your face off. Just the whole face is just, she bit it off.
That's like bath salt.
Yeah. Maybe she was on some
Induced.
bath salts or something.
Probably.
Other instances of her torture, she would stick needles underneath the girl's fingertips. And if the girls would remove the needle, she would then cut your finger off as a punishment.
I would almost rather my finger just be fucking cut off.
No, you wouldn't. Think how many things you do with your fingers.
Okay. Right.
Oh.
Okay.
But it's either constant pain of a needle underneath my fucking fingernail or
Yep.
just cut my finger off. It hurts for a couple days and I'm good. And it's just gone. Like, fuck.
What if she, but then you have no fingers. What if
I
she
just
did it on
had
all
to-
of them?
Fist myself then. Fuck it.
Yeah, but you like what if you wanted to peel a banana?
Why was I not expecting that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I should have known that was coming.
I won't be able
and
to
I
brush my
didn't see
teeth or
it.
comb my hair. It's just I gotta
Okay.
fist myself. I mean, we went from just everyday tasks like tying my shoe or buttoning my shirt to fist myself.
Well, there's people without extremities that are able to do normal daily things like that. So you would just have to learn how to do it without your fingers.
Okay, first off, we're talking about the 1500s, which inherently
You're gonna
be
bleed out
rough.
probably if they
Yeah.
cut off all your
Secondly,
fingers.
I mean, if you have no fingers on your hands, what exactly are you going to be able to do?
There's people without arms or legs that do shit all the time.
I mean, I guess
There's
if you
people that play pianos with their feet and shit. They
I
brush
guess
your
if you can learn to, eat spaghetti with your feet or, use chopsticks, all that kind of stuff, which there are people that do
You
that.
got your
And
palms. Shit.
as she okay, you all missed that one.
Y'all missed the demonstration.
This is why we need to tape these. That was Hannah's attempt to try to eat with her palms. That needs to be on video. I apologize now to all the listeners. We'll never get a chance to see that. That was fantastic.
That was pretty much golden. Well, it's over now, Ashley.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
Nope.
Yeah, do it one more time. Show us how.
Only if you do your little dance one time for Ashley.
That was another episode.
It doesn't matter. We can still get it on video and let people
All
see
right.
I
your
don't
great
think it
dances.
was it? It was this one.
Negative. All right.
Well, no, his beginning dance.
So Elizabeth now, soon she starts running out of young women because she had already taken them. The villagers then started to hide their daughters. And the villagers had the fear that Hannah's doing it again. She's completely losing my train of thought. Oh, Lord. She boomerang that. We're going to have to put that out there for everybody.
Let me see.
Anyhow, now I'm going to try to regain some thought here as they giggle and watch Hannah try to feed herself with palms.
That is so horrible.
The villagers started to hide all the daughters, like I said, because the fear that she's going to come down and take them.
Hide your kids.
The
Hide your
villagers
wife.
knew what was going on. Girls were going up there, never coming back. Some funny shit's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or her servants would come down, grab kids, take them off. So the townsfolk, they said, we're going to start hiding the kids. So once that happened, the countess began to resort to noble girls.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's kind of what ultimately led to her demise. You can't mess with the noble.
Dun.
The proper chick. So after the murder of one noble girl in 1609, which Elizabeth tried to stage that murder as a suicide, the authorities finally decided to act. During a night raid, officials searched the castle and discovered dead bodies of young girls were everywhere that they looked. Some were missing arms, eyes.
Ooh.
One body was in the fireplace and was not fully burned yet. Elizabeth was taken to trial and to testify. Many testified against her, including some of her servants as well as some of her survivors. One of the servants that came to testify said that girls were tied up and beaten to death until their whole body was black and like charcoal, and their skins were battered and torn. One girl suffered from 200 blows before dying. Another servant admitted that she had taken red-hot fire pokers and shoved them into the mouth
Ooh.
of one of the girls.
Fire
Oh,
pokers.
God.
Yeah.
Fire
mean-
pokers.
And I would just be curious if she was into sadomasochism and all that, and really getting into
Right.
it. The mouth wasn't probably the only place she stuffed red hot pokers. Think about that one. That would be rough.
Ouch.
Now, if you had to
Hannah
pick,
and I just clenched.
Hannah, you had to pick one place to have a hot fire poker shoved. Quick.
My nose. I don't fucking know because none of it sounds good. So
Well, I'm
You got three
glad
choices.
for that.
There's
3.
three choices. You can't shove it up your nose.
either my asshole, my vagina, or my mouth.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. You got-
I'm saying
I
does
know the
that-
three
no,
options.
I'm asking you. I'm clarifying. Those are my only 3 options.
I guess you could choose your ear hole.
I can't choose my nose hole, like I just
No,
said.
a
It's
fire-
another,
no.
it's another orifice.
Yeah, no.
Right.
You got 3
It's a
choices.
hole.
Let's play along. It's where would you stick your red hot fire poker game?
I guess. Damn it! None of the above.
What is?
What is none of the above?
No, you got a choice. Hurry up.
I guess my mouth.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
What about you, Ashley?
My ear.
You can't choose the ear. You only have 3
He
choices.
said ear.
No, he took it back. He said we're playing along. It's the 3.
This is some serious game shit here. The stakes are high.
Yep.
I mean, they're both contemplating like some really. How would this feel? I would take the poker and beat the shit out of her if it was up to me, but
I would try.
I mean, yeah.
Doesn't sound like she was a force to be reckoned with.
she
But, okay,
obviously had
I'd
all
You
probably-
have
that.
to choose.
I'd probably do my mouth too.
Yeah. How about you, Matt? It's either your dick hole, your ass, or your mouth. Which one?
So
No, you gotta choose. You have to.
I told you what I
choose
would
your
do.
game.
I would beat the shit out
No,
of her
that's
with
not
it.
an option. Nope, that's not an option.
Well, it's sure in hell. I mean,
It's not an option.
I actually can't do this. buttons
I was
either.
reaching from across the table.
Make a mental
You
note. I
can
gotta
you
move this.
can't
Okay,
do
no,
that.
you have
You
to
can't
choose.
do it.
You have to choose.
You have to answer.
I guess I would say mouth. I guess.
Okay.
Right.
There
See,
you
that's
go.
like.
Yeah.
There you go. It
Right.
wasn't so hard.
All right. How about you?
Some of the
Ted?
other things that she would do. Now that we're moving on, she would place her fingers,
Oh, where's this going?
inside of
Hmm.
their mouths. and then she would basically like fish hook both sides of the corners of the mouth and pull until the mouth would rip open. This is an evil bitch, man. I mean, this is going some.
Why is this not? Is there a movie?
Why so serious?
Yeah.
Always like
I know.
Hannah's like I never knew about this history. Is there a movie? Like, I don't want to open a book,
like,
but I'd watch the movie.
No. She's like,
Yeah.
this sounds familiar. I think it was my past life.
I'm getting images. I'm remembering.
No, I don't know. You know what? I think through some research, there might be something that is somewhat based off this.
But I mean, like they need, cause like how there's like the Saw movies and stuff, like that's pretty grotesque. You know, I love.
So in
Saw.
other words, you'd buy a ticket
like,
to this movie.
She's like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's all good.
Fuck yeah, that's fucked up.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right. So finally, after hearing the countless testimonies of the appalling activities that went on behind the castle walls, Elizabeth and some of her servants were convicted on 80 counts of murder. Although evidence shows that there was many as 650 females that had been killed in total, her servants were sentenced to death, but Elizabeth was imprisoned for life in a room in her own castle. It was boarded up.
Ooh.
That's right. They boarded her up in one of her rooms in her castle with only a slit in a doorway for food and air, and that was it. Elizabeth lived there for 3 years. 3.5 years before she was found dead, lying face down on the floor. After her death,
Say how?
after her death, countless Elizabeth. Oh, I'm sorry.
He just doesn't want to say her last name.
I said countless. It's countess. But after her death, Countess Elizabeth Bathory went down in history as one of the most evil women that has ever walked the planet. Also known as probably
So how did she die, though?
one of the first female serial killers.
How did she die?
Well, she went to knock on the door and told the guard that her hands were cold. He says, "You're fine."
Are you making this up?
No.
You've got to look like you're making it up in your eye. I'm not sure where this is gonna go.
No, I'm being look it up. I'm telling you, I don't make this shit
all
up.
right, keep going.
So they knocked on the
I
door.
don't trust that look. See, that's the look.
They knocked on the door and they said her hands were cold. All right. He said, "You're fine. Go lay down."
Go lay down.
Yep.
Like a dog.
And then they found her face down, dead, after
She
3.5
didn't,
years.
like,
I don't know. I mean, if you're living in basically solitary confinement,
I would have beat my head against the wall until I killed myself. Probably.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the living conditions probably were not. She probably had to shit in a bucket.
True. Okay.
I mean, you're stuck in a room. It was probably not good. But who cares? But it's kind of weird that she basically was only in prison for life, but her servants, who were acting under basically her orders,
They
that
probably
allowed it. Because, well, okay, you work for her. She says, "Go down there and give me one of these chicks because I want to eat her face off."
Are you gonna tell her no? No.
Right.
You're gonna.
What are you gonna do?
it.
You come back and tell your boss who's eating people's face off, "No, you better go do it yourself."
Right.
I want to have this girl's face with some fava beans. And a nice what? Some fava beans and a nice. They're both looking at me like they're deer in the headlight.
What are you talking about?
Face steak.
It's another movie you haven't seen, I'm sure.
See, if I had seen it, though, it would have ruined it.
No, you would have finished the line.
So what's
what is
what's
it?
the finishing to that line?
No, I'm just gonna leave you hanging. Our
Okay,
listeners who've
whatever.
watched it know.
What movie is it?
I'm gonna leave it.
Just let me tell
Nope,
me
I'm
the
gonna let
movie.
you. Nope, I'm gonna let
Google it, Ashley.
our listeners can. Why you throw your phone across the room? Damn, she
She's
gets just
pissed.
all pissy. She don't get her way, and then she throws her phone across the room. Now Tim's got to buy a new phone because of cracked screen.
And a nice what?
Huh? I want to.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti? What is that?
Shantae.
What is that?
Is that wine?
Silence of the Lambs. No, I've never
yes,
seen it.
I was after she said the liver thing. That's why I thought it was Silence of the Lambs.
I've never seen it.
I have.
Don't you buzzer me, you
No.
asshat.
Ashley hasn't seen a movie. Just in case you don't know, there's some shocking news for you. Silence of the Lambs, she hasn't seen. All right. I can't believe you don't believe me about how she died.
I believe you now.
All
When you
right.
started it, and it's not on here.
I know it's not on there because I researched it and I had it in my brain.
Oh my god. Okay, but when you started it, it sounded like you were gonna lie to me.
Some other ways that she tortured, you'll never know. You'll have to look it up.
Okay.
Some other ways that she tortured people. She froze them.
Save them for later.
Yeah. She starved them to death. That's not far-fetched. I can see that one.
Yeah.
I mean, she
Just-
sewed people's mouths shut. So
Yeah. Yeah, they're locked up in the, they don't get no fava beans. So they just sit around and starve to death. Here's a favorite one. This is one that's
Is
loved
that
by
your
all.
favorite?
Yeah. No, I don't know if it's, but she would cover them in honey. No, Hannah, it's not sexual.
Damn it.
Yeah, she was like, oh, that sounds fun.
Hmm.
But she would cover them in honey, and then she would pour ants on them. And then basically just let the ants go to town, just biting and devouring. And think about thousands of
How would
ant bites.
Well,
What?
I
How you going to die with some ant bites?
well, no, not just that too, but how do you who just goes and collects buckets of ants? Like, how do you would she just put some honey in a bucket and collect a bunch of ants and then dump it on
Hannah?
a bitch?
She posted a.
That's how you get ants.
Yeah, she posted an ad on Indeed, and she asked
All
for
right.
anybody that
All
can
right.
collect ants to come. And then she just told one of her servants that, hey, you will go pick up 100,000 ants and bring them to me.
Makes sense. Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming they could have had an ant hill somewhere on their, that they knew some sort of bug. And I'm sure they attack more or track more than just ants. I mean, they could have probably covered them in honey and
Stop.
stuck them out on a whatever, and then birds would come down and eat their eyeballs out, and while they're still alive,
Peck.
the coyote would eat the tongue out.
Peck.
This is more up Hannah's alley.
Mm-hmm.
She would have these, torturing parties, right? And
She's
she would,
one of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
and blood-covered orgies.
Woo!
Oh, mercy.
Blood-covered orgies for special occasions, including holidays. It's Christmas time. Let's get everybody blood-soaked and have an orgy. And she even had a blood-soaked orgy for her daughter's wedding. Now, she knows how to party.
I would say so.
Ashley's like, but that is Elizabeth Bathory. Bathory. Right?
Bathory.
Nobody knows. Bathory.
There you go.
Bathory. Well, you know who she is.
Either, is it?
No, it's not right. Nobody knows.
Bathory.
It's, you know what? No one knows.
Yeah.
As her name's Elizabeth. She's known as the Blood Countess.
That makes sense.
Now we're gonna have one of her long distance grandchildren.
You.
Me?
So did you learn something?
That's not how
So what you learn?
I learned everything about her.
No, give me one thing that you learned.
She's probably where a bunch of the vampire stuff came from.
What you learn there, Hannah?
I learned that this bitch was batshit crazy.
There you go. What did I learn, Ashley?
Nothing. You did the research.
There you go. That's how you do it. All right, that's going to be the end of this episode. We're going to wrap it up since we're all thoroughly disgusted and grossed out, maybe. Or maybe some of you guys are turned on. Who knows?
I'm ready to eat.
I am pretty hungry.
There you go. Eat your face off. Watch out. You guys are gonna
Coming
eat each
for you,
other's-
Matt.
Yeah. All right, well, tune in next week. We got some Christmas episodes going to be coming up here before
Christmas.
long. That's all right. That's things to look forward to.
Anything else?
In case you want to get a hold of us, Hannah, where can the fine peeps out there?
Did we do that at the
Yeah,
beginning?
we did this at the
I know.
beginning of the episode.
I don't know, but we're going to do it again just to make sure they know. If they made it all the way to the end, they really like us.
That's true.
So if you made it to the end, happy Easter egg to you. We're going to give you a little snidbit here of an extra, throw you a bone.
An extra throw you a bone of a bone I've already thrown. All right.
You didn't do it very good the first time. That's why we're going to make sure you do it the second.
Yep. try.
I hate you all.
She's pissed because she's got to read.
Fuck off.
Ah.
You can email us at extraordinaryfiles@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at Extraordinary Files Podcast, or you can go to Instagram at Extraordinary Files or Twitter at XFilesPod.
Thank you, Hannah.
See, it wasn't that hard.
She can read.
Yep.
I'll be there.
Holy shit.
Boom. All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.